Hey everyone, what's up? Today in this video, I'm with Poo Choi crew Alex, and we're gonna show you guys one of the most important element of your Muay Thai training, and that is the
stance.
Your stance. So in any Muay Thai training, when you're starting out as a beginner, even a seasoned practitioner, it's very important to understand that your Muay Thai is just like a house. And when we construct a house, if the foundation isn't proper and solid, nothing else that you'll add onto the top, such as lighting and decorations, will make it work, okay? So your stance is that foundation in your Muay Thai training. And that's why if you don't have that correct right off the get-go, all of your tools and weapons, especially your defensive and offensive techniques, are going to be very weak. All right, so we're going to start right now and show you the proper foundation of a Muay Thai structured stance. Check it out. All right, guys, when we're looking at our Muay Thai stance, it's very important to consider if you're left or right-handed first. Okay, so I'm right-handed, so I'm going to have my left lead first. If you guys are left-handed or southpaw, you're going to do everything in the opposite stance using a right foot forward. Okay, so now we're going to take a light step forward, okay, and bring your back foot to that foot, and then just widen it out, and that should be at the same width and distance as your own shoulders. From here, I'm going to take that foot and take one more step on the outside. That's going to give me a proper base, good foundation for all of my weapons, especially checking, knees, and kicks in Muay Thai. Now, my lead foot is always going to be pointing in the direction where I'm facing. So for example, if my opponent's facing me, I'm looking at you guys, that lead foot has to point towards you guys. My back foot's going to be pointing at a 45-degree angle. This way there, I'm going to have a good stance, and it's easily accessible for me to raise my heel off the mat to propel power into my punches. Now looking at the hand positioning, my right hand is going to be up, and I always make sure that I don't use a tight fist. I use a light fist, not a tight fist, to close my fingers. That way there I don't get super tired just by relaxing. And the backhand is going to be at the cheek level, all right? Lead hand's going to be just in front as such, and I want to have my elbows pointing downwards and not flaring out like this, okay? I don't want to be too tight. I have to be in a comfortable position. Now, chin is going to be down, eyes are going to be up, all right? So I'm going to have a turtle shell, and if I look sideways for you guys, if I change the angle here, this is going to be my turtle shell, all right? So on this side, this is going to be my shell, all right? So when you're going to start a fight, you're always going to walk out and having that nice shell, using your eyes to look in front of you. That way there, if the guy goes gung-ho right off the first sound of the bell, your hands are up to protect yourself at all times, as they say. Your chin is down, but your vision is straight at your opponent, okay? You never want to walk out in the first round with your hands loose. That is something that you might be doing later on in the fight once you get a little bit more comfortable and confident about your opponent's weaknesses. Then you start to get a little bit more flashy and bring your hands slightly down. But at the get-go, you have to have proper structure, and that's your Muay Thai foundation. All right, now I'm going to bring in Poo Choi crew Alex, who's going to join me to demonstrate the rest of the stance. All right? Okay, so now Alex is going to get into a good structured stance. And now notice, lead foot, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be pointing at me. His back foot is at a 45. His hands are up. His chin is down. And he's looking at right at me, the vision that he would have for his opponent. Okay, so watch what I mean about having a good structured foundation with your legs. Okay, so if Alex was standing straight up with a narrow stance, he's easily off balance from left to right and front to back. Okay, so now by having a good stance, what happens now is he's got good balance from left to right sides and good balance from front to back. Okay, now if he were to take a good strong kick to his leg, he's going to be able to absorb that using those shock absorbers because he's got a structured stance here. Okay, if he needs to check the kick, easily transferable into his check. All right, now if he were to cover on the left hook from that stance, okay, cover on my overhand right, same thing, he could cover or just block. All right, so this is all from one stance. The defensive techniques, like a double arm block, for example, boom. Same thing, 1-2, boom, boom. If he needs to attack using punches, same stance. Using a kick to the leg, back into his stance. Using a front teep, into his stance. And using a knee, for example, back into his stance. Using an elbow, bam, back to his stance, all right? So this is why it makes so much sense to spend a lot of time at the beginning especially to make sure using your techniques off of one structured stance, using your shadow boxing, heavy bag, focus mitts, Thai pads, and eventually into your sparring. So that way there, it's almost like your feet will have a mind of their own and you won't even think about it. Right away, you'll have a proper stance, hands are gonna be up, and you're ready to fight. All right, so now I wanna talk about some of the more common mistakes that I see when people start up with their hands up. Okay, number one, as stated earlier, Alex is just gonna demonstrate the improper way of doing a Muay Thai stance. Number one, feet are gonna be too narrow. We already talked about that earlier. Or sometimes they're gonna be standing if he's facing the camera. Feet are gonna be one in front of the other on the same line, okay, like this. So now it's a balancing act, so that way there it's difficult to throw some kicks with his right foot. Okay, so now the other common mistake is also, now place your feet please. The other common mistake is having hands way too out like this. Okay, this is an exaggeration of the Muay Thai stance, okay, and also, I also see some people, sometimes they're having their hands in front like this. It almost looks like you're driving a Harley Davidson. So make sure that you have a correct stance. Elbows are flaring just slightly. That way there he can catch kicks, throw some jab crosses, and this way here, he's got a good stance to start deflecting and covering against punches, all right? Of course, we talked about the chin. So if his chin was up and someone were to strike him, if he's facing me, please, now were to strike him in the face and his head was eye up, the chin is always available for attacks. So he wants to hide that chin, okay? By having the head up too, is watch how he can easily get distracted. Okay, he's got no structure right now. By having the head down, if he didn't see my punch or my attacks coming, he could easily just tuck his head down and I'm gonna be hitting on the top of his skull, possibly injuring my own hands. Okay, so now, a lot of people will comment on the sense that Muay Thai has the elbows way too out like this, okay? So let me explain something to you guys, all right? By having the elbows flaring out in Muay Thai, this makes it very easy for him to catch my kick. So if I were to kick him to the body, he's gonna catch my kick easily, all right? So if he wants to defend against the clinch, for example, he could easily block that clinching entry, okay? And if he needs to start throwing some elbows, as we talked about in some of the previous elbow videos, watch how it's easy for him to throw a cut down elbow from this angle. Boom, slices down. Uppercut elbow. Boom, slices up. Or soktat, straight elbow, boom, slices right across, okay? Because of the elbow position. Now, if Alex had a tight position like this would be very challenging for him to do some proper cut down elbows or covering against clinches, even covering against some strong body kicks. In Muay Thai, we use the shin bone, so he would just be absorbing the kick with his forearm like this, which could possibly injure himself, okay? So by having the elbows flaring out, he can easily hook that kick when it comes in and just go with the flow to protect his rib cage, okay? So that's something to consider, guys, when someone looks at the Muay Thai stance and the hand positioning, especially at the elbows flaring out. That's the exact reason why we do this. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching our video. Once again, leave us a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this type of content. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more Muay Thai videos coming your way. And if you have any questions regarding this or any other Muay Thai technique, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. We'll make sure to address, and we'll see you guys in the next
Muay Thai video.
Take care.